today we have Joseph Loughran, our Marketing Vice President, and then we have two special guest speakers that we're delighted to have join us today, and they have literally taken their personal time out of their Monday afternoon to get on the call with all of our agents and GAs across the country just to kind of give their insight and offer a few tips and basically anything that can help our agents succeed with the Mortgage Lead program. So we really want to thank the special guest speakers. That's Kent, who's a very successful agent of ours out of Texas, and then Steve, who is the creator of the program. So my hat goes off to you guys. Thanks for joining us on today's presentation. So we changed the presentation a little bit. If you've been on this call in the past, we basically added a few extra samples to really give you some insight on how the program works. If you haven't used it before, I think by the end of the call, you'll decide to at least give it a shot and try it once. If you have used it before, just keep in the back of your mind, we're always trying to improve the program to make it better and bigger for everyone involved. So a great time to get involved, and if you have tried it, a great time to give it another shot or continue to use the program. So we started the LEAD program about almost 3 years ago now, and we've all heard about these great programs that promise you the world, and they're instant, exclusive, hot leads that our clients are ready to purchase today, and they're typically made up of broken promises, as we all know, because I know I've been in the business now almost 20 years, and I haven't seen one good program that has been around, that has lasted, and that still works today. It's just not out there. So what we did is almost 3 years ago, Steve, who happens to be one of our GAs and my father's good friend, came to us and said, I'm going to slowly get out of the business, and I want to offer my leads to your agents. So before we just jumped in and said, okay, we're going to open the gates and offer these great leads to our agents, we wanted to try just a handful of agents, and one of them was Kent, to say, hey, give these a shot. Let us know what your thoughts are. Be honest, obviously, and let's see if you get any sales out of these batches. So we kind of tried it out on a pilot phase. And sure enough, after probably 3-4 months, the agents kept coming back to purchase more leads. So obviously the proof is in the pudding. So we then opened up the gates to all of our agents in the country. Okay, and I would say today, out of all the agents that have tried the program over the last few years, that it's about 60 to 70% of the agents come back to order again. So that is a great sign. Is the program perfect? Absolutely not. Does it work if you're willing to put the time in and listen to what Steve and Kent have to say? Yes, it absolutely works, and you can make a lot of money. Okay, and Kent had a few nice cases that were over $10,000 of annualized premium. So, I mean, they're in there. Okay, it's just a matter of digging through and getting to that lead. And then along the way, of course, you'll have some of the smaller cases that always keep the lights on. So, okay, with that said, we want to move kind of quickly here so we don't take too much of your time. We're going to talk about our upcoming training webinars, which is what you're on right now, and then we have a few new programs that we're rolling out at Levinson, and then we're going to jump into the presentation. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. I'm going to actually just go through a couple upcoming webinars for this week. Of course, as you're on the webinar today, we do record every webinar session and post it to the YouTube channel. But I also wanted to mention some upcoming calls for this week. So starting tomorrow, which is the 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern, we have a Phoenix annuity training webinar going over all the different competitive annuity products with Phoenix. You can register for any one of these webinars right on the home page, which of course is kerrylevinson.com. In the right-hand side of the screen towards the bottom, you can actually see all the upcoming training webinars and click to register, just like today's call. On Wednesday, which is the 17th at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going over retirement income annuity training. That's going to be co-hosted by American General. And then on Thursday, which is the 18th, we have a repeat of that Phoenix annuity training webinar, again at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So a lot of great stuff. As you can see, the Levinson annuity division has a lot of trainings. We just posted some of the more popular ones, so definitely check out CarrieLevinson.com, and you can register again for all those webinars right from the homepage.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So obviously everyone is talking about this Apple iWatch now. It's a game changer, very innovative, okay, just like us here at Levinson. So we wanted to tie in a contest so all of our agents have a chance to win the Apple iWatch. So very, very simple, okay? We didn't make this confusing on purpose, and we didn't want to say, all right, you have to write $20,000 of premium to get your free iWatch. No, very simple. Write Prudential or American General, okay? Either the Founders Plus UL, which is an awesome no-lapse universal life alternative, or the American General Value Plus IUL. Awesome, awesome product, very inexpensive, great cash value. So for your next permanent product, look at Prudential and American General. Write at least $2,500 of annualized premium, okay? And you have until October. So that should be pretty easy. Write the app, get it issue paid. We will mail you your brand new Apple iWatch. Just under that is for our annuity department. Very simply write an annuity application. We will mail you a free 16-gig tablet. That's simple. Just under there, we have a brand new Certified Financial Educators Academy class that we are offering to all of our agents. It's a co-op price of $199, and this allows you to get and add a new designation onto your title, your business card. It allows you to teach classroom-style financial courses, okay, and train the public on how they can put funds, say, into annuities or permanent universal life products, okay? It's very broad, and the whole point behind this is kind of like a seminar to attract people to come listen to you. And then the best part is when you invite these attendees to your, let's say, your classroom to go over financial planning, you can give everyone in your class a $500 free scholarship just for attending the class. So not only are they going to walk away with some great knowledge about life insurance and financial planning, but they're also going to get a free scholarship, no charge to you or the clients or prospects that attend. So if you're interested in that, it's offered by Transamerica. Just let us know. We will get you signed up today. Agent websites. We all know how important it is these days to have an online presence. I don't care who you are, what you do, you need to have a website. So we give all of our agents free websites, and we just updated the whole platform within the last few weeks. We now have mobile accessible templates that you can choose from, okay? So everyone now is on their smartphones and iPhones. They can pull you up with your website, and everything is accessible through their smartphone. They can run quotes. They can sign up online. They can buy a life insurance policy from their iPhone from you, where you still get full commission. We also just added a final expense quote engine. And even if you have your own website, but you want to add some of these tools at no charge, let us know. We will get you up and running. So as you are aware, we are constantly making our platform bigger and better. So that's our promise to you. Joe's going to give you an outline of the Mortgage Lead Program. Then we have a special lead reimbursement program. And then we're going to introduce Steve. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. So real quickly here, I'll go over a couple details for the Mortgage Lead Program. The first thing that I want to mention, I'm sure that Steve will dive into this a little more deeply, is that these are not shared leads. They are exclusive to each ordering agent. I think that's extremely important to take away from the presentation because, as Bill mentioned, we've seen a lot of different lead programs, deliver subpar leads, and those are usually always shared. So this is a very, very unique program that we put together. Each week, we actually send out an email every Monday morning reminding each of the agents that we're actually ordering these mortgage leads. and that's where we ask you to respond. So another important thing is there's no minimum order contract. So you can order week to week. If you decide to opt into the program, we will order leads for you that week. We're not going to automatically reorder for you. So it's a great way to kind of test it out, kick the tires, and make sure that it's something you want to use. Again, the minimum order for this program is 12 leads. They are $18 a piece. And depending on how many leads you actually order, the vendor will throw in some additional freebies with your order, and I'll let Steve get into that in a couple slides. The leads are delivered via email every Tuesday afternoon. So if you were to order, for example, this afternoon, you would receive those leads tomorrow by about 4:30, 5 o'clock Eastern time. And we do ask that because this is a co-op program we put together, all business, obviously for the lead program or that results from it, be placed through Levinson & Associates. And before I go into the next slide here, I just want to share one quick testimonial from an agent that actually we received at the end of May of this year. That is from our agent Andrew in Ohio. He wrote that the mortgage lead program is bringing me new business that more than covers the expense and opening up new opportunities beyond the typical term insurance sale. Thanks for the good quality lead. So like Bill mentioned, we've been using this program for close to 3 years now. We do have agents that are ordering and reordering on a weekly basis. So we make it very simple, very easy, and as Bill will mention, we just actually incorporated the reimbursement program into the same lead program.
Yeah, and like Joe said, we make this very, very easy. You order your leads, okay? We place the order every Monday. You receive your leads within 24 hours. If you write and place a policy on a particular lead, you send in the lead reimbursement form, and we reimburse you for every single lead that you have written that goes in force. It's that simple, okay? The only thing that we ask, and this goes for everybody, is any business that gets written from our lead program. It could be annuities, long-term care, life, disability, critical illness, whatever it is, please make sure that business gets sent back through Levinson. And as you know, with every order, okay, it actually costs us a few dollars. So this is a real co-op program, and we don't make a penny on this, okay? So we're banking on the fact that, A, you're going to convert these leads into real policies, and B, that business is going to go back through Levinson. So please make sure that everything gets sent back through here, and we can help you quote, obviously, and do everything but write the actual application. Okay, so without further ado, Stephen, who is, like I said, very close with Carrie, my father, and our family, so we trust him like a family member, and he's also a great GA with us. So Steve is going to give you an outline and show you a few examples on the exclusive mortgage lead program. Steve?
Thank you, Bill, and thank you, Joe. I appreciate the time to talk to you folks about the mortgage lead program. My name is Steve Smith, and I'd like to go over some points for everybody. I actually took some notes, so if I stumble a little bit, it's only because I'm reading. Anyway, I especially want to thank Kent at this time because he's taking time away from his own very busy schedule to share his personal experience about the LEAD program. And of course, I want to thank all the agents attending today. We have a terrific attendance amount of agents, and I think for the ones that are not familiar with it or a little sketchy on it, I think the information that you'll be getting from myself as well as Kent's insight will be very helpful to you. You know, we've all come to realize one thing about the Levinson Group. Bill and Joe have brought to their agents all the best resources when it comes to building their business, such as they have great training for the agents, they have a great many sales ideas, have an abundance of insurance carriers and portfolios for these carriers. They have a college scholarship program. They have pilot programs from a lot of the insurance companies that are first to try it out. They help agents create their own free websites. They help agents obtain professional designations for the industry. Plus, of course, they have the Levinson Group has terrific support for all of us at the office for any sales needs or underwriting needs and basic clerical stuff. So it's a top-notch organization, and I think anyone that's listening today and has put in business has experienced that very same thing. I know I'm very fond of Carrie and of Bill and Joe because it's a great organization. But that being said, you can have all these great resources at your fingertips. But the question I have is, what good are they if you know, you don't have anybody to speak to? If you don't have the prospects, or you don't have enough prospects to speak to and share sales ideas with them. You know, we as insurance agents are in the solution business. Our jobs are to provide ways to solve the needs of our prospects and to make them clients now or in the future. That is exactly what this mortgage lead program can provide for each and every one of you. This program can and it will give you the opportunities to have an endless supply of prospects to reach. So in the end, all these resources we have in our tool chest can be used to create sales and income for ourselves. Everything in our business starts with people, qualified prospects to call. Let me tell you something. When I personally began in a lead program such as this myself many years ago, I was an end user, just like everyone listening in today. My income as a result of getting into such a lead program increased tremendously to put me in a consistent annual basis of at least 6 figures every year in and year out. Folks, I believe that's why we are in the insurance business. It's not for philanthropic reasons, but to earn a substantial living for ourselves and to help our families. I can tell you, each and every one of you, who have not yet used this program or have only dabbled in it once or twice, that it absolutely works. If you participate on a regular basis, follow fairly simple directions, and I think Kent will point them out from his own experience, you will realize the true benefits of this lead program. These are not internet leads, they're not leads that have been recycled or stale, as Bill and Joe mentioned. These are fresh and exclusive leads to only Levinson agents. They've been generated from people who have personally taken their time to fill out these inquiries and sent them back. I can promise each and every one of you that every lead that is distributed to an agent has been thoroughly looked over. I will also tell you that between 25% and 40% of all the leads we receive are never distributed to any agent, and that's because they just don't pass our tests. Based on the ages of the people who are responding, based on the mortgage amounts on the people who are responding, they just don't meet the criteria that we feel is a good value for an agent to use as a bona fide good lead. And I promise you this personally, that I will not distribute a lead to an agent that I myself is not of good value. And I know what a good lead is. I've been doing this for a good many years. So that's the foundation of our mortgage lead program. They're fresh, they're exclusive, and they're quality leads. And I might add, at a very reasonable cost to the agents. As shown in the ordering schedule, every lead order has between 2 to 4 extra leads, and that's to cover sometimes phone numbers that are no longer operating, or just people that you never seem to be able to reach. So it covers those kinds of things. And the amazing thing is, as many years as I've been doing this, I have never seen a lead program include extra leads to the end user. Never. But I feel, again, because of my relationship with the Levinson Group, I want to give every agent the best shot they can to be successful with these leads. The mortgage leads themselves are generated, obviously, from mortgages. They're mortgages that have been closed on new homes. They're mortgages that are established from refinancing. They're also sometimes equity loans, substantial though, and also second mortgages, substantial though. And all of them have closed, I would say, anywhere from between 2 to 4 weeks. And the reason I say that is it all depends on how quickly this goes out to people, but more importantly, how quickly people fill these things out and send them back. So occasionally you'll get something that's longer than that, but believe me, it's been put out to people and been received by these people a lot sooner than that. Okay. You will rarely experience any resistance when you do call these people from the Mortgage Lead Program. They're expecting somebody to call them, and they're expecting to be provided with information. Does this mean that each and every lead is a laydown? Absolutely not. It's going to take an agent using his talent, using perseverance, and especially being dedicated to make their program and make this program pay off for them. I think Kent will again be better suited to share his personal experiences with this, because he's someone that is synonymous with the word being dedicated in this business. Before we see a sample lead, I wanted to make something very clear. Many, if not most, leads will be outside your geographical area. Therefore, any agent who has or will be participating in this lead program must be comfortable and capable of doing business entirely by phone with e-app or drop tickets. It's just the nature of the business. It's unusual that when you order, and on the order forms they do ask, you know, for preferences as far as counties. Many times, you know, to fill the order, we're going to have to go beyond those counties. So I want each and every agent who's not aware of it to be aware that you know, they have to be comfortable selling by phone. The first thing I want to say before we actually look at a sample lead is, before you call any leads, before you get on the phone, open up your search engine. Open up whatever you use to quote prospects or clients with. Okay, it could be the Leviton term search engine. It could be WinFlex. It could be individual companies' illustrations. But whatever it is, have it open. Okay, because that's what you're calling people about. Okay, Joe, can we open the first sample lead? Okay, this is a lead that you could expect to see. And again, look at these leads. Before you pick up a phone to call each and every lead, look at it, familiarize yourself, okay? For instance, in this lead here, on the top left, you'll see the county in the state of Colorado, Jefferson County, okay? So you know distance-wise where it is. On the top right, you'll see the mortgage amount. That will give you some insight into, are you steering more towards fully underwritten business, or perhaps if it's a lesser amount, more of a simplified non-med type of business, okay? And then when you go into the profile of the borrowers, you'll see, of course, their names and their date of births, and you can, you know, make a little note as to their ages. You'll see that they're either a smoker, non-smoker. You'll see heights and weights. Now, not all leads, absolutely 100%, will have the mortgage amount. We can only provide the information that we get, okay? But I would say the preponderance of these leads will have mortgage amounts, and they will have full profiles for the borrowers, okay? And most importantly, towards the bottom, you'll see a contact name. In this case, it's Gary. So he's of course one of the borrowers, and at least one good phone number, and in many, many cases, 2 or more phone numbers, because they can include the home phone, cell number. Sometimes both of them, we get both the cell numbers from both parties, and sometimes we even get a work number. Okay, so you should be able to contact them, but in this day and age, people are busy, so you just got to keep trying. Okay, but this gives you an idea of the layout of what you're looking at in any particular lead. Then the fun begins. Now you get on the telephone. Remember something, and this is important. You have control of the conversation. You're the one calling them. You're the sales professional, okay? And by that I mean that you're the one that can ask the questions. You're the ones that should be probing, okay? You're not doing this like a machine. You're making this more of a conversation. And again, I think Kent will get into this in his personal experience and how he handles these phone calls, okay? But the most important thing is you'll find virtually no resistance when you call people. They're expecting a call because they want to get the information. They have requested it. These are not cold calls by any means, okay? There are telephone scripts that are available on the Levinson website. Use them, okay? If you haven't participated in the LEAD program, use them to begin with. Start personalizing them to what fits your personalities, and you know, but it's a good place to start right then and there. And as I said, ask the questions, probe. For instance, I'll give you some instances that have worked tried and true. Okay, many times you'll see a lead like this with one borrower on there. Okay, there won't be two people with two profiles. The obvious question is, first off, is are you the only one that's looking for coverage, or is there a significant other that you'd like to get coverage for? Many times you'll hear from that respondent that, oh, well, yeah, my wife, husband, whomever, but they're not on the mortgage. That's fine. We can help them out also as far as coverage. Another question you may want to ask is it equally important for both of you to get coverage? Or is it more important for one or the other to get coverage? Okay? And these are things that will give you insight, especially with perhaps older people. Okay, I mean, people into their 60s. By the way, age-wise, we try not to go any further than early 70s as far as ages, okay, because it just gets too costly for insurance needs. And, of course, people don't know that when they're inquiring, how much it's going to cost them. So you won't see an 80-year-old or a 77-year-old on a lead. You will see it in other leads, okay, but you won't see it with leads that we handle, okay. Another good question to ask is, what do you do for a living? Or what kind of work do you do? Okay, again, depending on their ages. And if they mention something about, well, they have their own business, or they're blue-collar people, or they work in an office, or perhaps she's in nursing, that gets you thinking about perhaps disability income. Okay, so as you're asking questions, you should be formulating a picture of who these people are, who that person is. Okay. A question I feel very, very strong about is asking people about, do they have any current life insurance in force? Because that opens up the door wide open to a lot of possibilities. And if they don't have any, then that again opens up a lot of possibilities for just need for protection. Okay? And then, of course, depending on their ages, do they have any dependent children and how old they are? Because, again, that will open up some doors. In other words, if you ask, and especially if you listen, your best sales come from creating from the telephone conversation. Hear the needs. Start formulating as you're listening, okay? And especially, most importantly, above everything, is qualify each prospect. That's on a health basis, okay? Remember, it's not just money that buys this coverage. It's also good health, okay? Joe, if you can, oh, there's a second lead I just wanted to quickly show people. It's already up there. And this is really the same layout, the only difference being that it's a little younger ages and it's a smaller, especially a smaller mortgage amount. And this would tend to focus you more on a non-medical type coverage, you know, an surety or Illinois Mutual or something like that, where you don't have to get them involved in you know, all the medical underwriting that a bigger amount might do. But again, it all depends on what you end up with, okay? Joe, if we can open up the email. After I've made contact with people, given them some quotes, either made a sale or at least left the door wide open for future discussion, I send them off an email like this. It's very simple, okay, but it has multi-purposes to it. And basically, it's acknowledging the conversation we had, the amount of coverage we talked about, the amount of years. If there's two of them, breaking it down individually for each of them for those years, and of course, telling them that I will be in touch. And but please don't hesitate to call if you have any questions in the meantime. And then, most importantly, is providing them with contact numbers for you, so they have a visual look at exactly what the conversation was. And it's very professional. People very much appreciate it, okay? Because when you're talking on the phone, it's almost two-dimensional because of the fact that they're just numbers being transmitted on the telephone. When they see it in an email, it makes it clearer for them. And most importantly is that it also provides the agent with a nice clean copy of what they talked about, because you should be printing this out and putting it in a new file that you're starting for them. So that's basically what I do as a follow-up to that. The last thing I want to mention, and probably might be repeating myself a little bit, is this lead program is something, it's a business expense, folks. It's investing in yourselves. It's investing in your ability as a salesperson as well as a sales professional. The payoff, as Kent will tell you, is many times, I guess the best way to put it is mind-blowing, what you can walk away with from one of these sales calls. It's absolutely laughable to think how little an investment an agent puts towards this weekly mortgage lead run and what the possible returns can be. You can't realize them unless you participate. Even a nominal term sale will cover the initial cost of an order of 15 or 20 leads ordered, okay? And trust me, anyone who has committed their time and money to this program will tell you that there are some real gems you will uncover. I just want to close with a quick story, and this happened last week for me, because I still call mortgage leads. I do it somewhat of entertainment, but I do it also to supplement my income, okay? And I called a couple. He was a 40-year-old business owner, married, of course, and the spouse is 38 years old. She's a registered nurse, and they have one child who is 4 years old. The mortgage amount was $400,000. Okay, nice mortgage, on the face of it, very nice mortgage lead. I mean, they should all be that nice. And without getting into a lot of details, okay, I'll end up writing one of two types of cases with them. Either I'll do $1 million case with cashback, in other words, return of premium on each of them. That will probably be worth about $475 a month combined. Or I'll walk away with an IUL policy on the both of them, which should, and I show them the target premium, and which would be about $20,000 annually. Now that's not too bad. That's the kind of gem that I'm talking about. And you don't know, and you'll never know unless you participate. And I know Kent will say the very same thing. Anyway, I want to thank you all for attending today, taking your time, and I'm turning it back to Bill or Joe now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Okay, so we have about 10 to 12 minutes left. Next up, we have Kent, who once again is going to give you his insight on the program. And this is nice because you get to hear it from a real agent out there in the field who has had great success. Kent, are you there?
I am here. Thank you, Bill, Steve, and Joe. I appreciate it. I'm going to speak fast. I know I have short time, so I'd like to just get into it about myself. I won't talk about myself much. The only reason I bring that up is because if I can do this, anybody can. I've been in corporate America for many, 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 many years. And about 10, 11 years ago, I got my insurance license, and through family members with encouragement, I learned that this is a business of opportunity. And I will say that I get my leads from multiple sources, and I think I would encourage, and I think Bill, Steve, Joe would do the same. But the idea behind this mortgage lead program is diversification. We all want to be diversified, where we get leads from referrals in many different sources, and this is just one. But speaking of Levinson Associates, I think they have one of the best platforms to support agents. So I would highly encourage those that are not on board to really consider who you're doing business with. That is huge because the integrity part of the business is very critical. I will comment that overcoming objectives is something I wanted to talk about today. I kind of go off on a path here of things that are in my head and in my heart and what's made me successful in the business. But we become much better agents if we learn how to overcome objectives. An example of what's an objective is if you get on the phone with these leads and someone says, I'm already talking to someone that has called me, because that will come up. You need to know how you're going to handle that, and you need to write down some of your objectives and learn how you're going to overcome them on the phone, because as you get seasoned in the industry, the better you overcome the objectives, the better chance you have of selling a product. Something like that, everybody's going to go into, well, may I ask you a question? And you get them to say yes, of course, and if I can look at multiple carriers and shop over 40 carriers to get you the best price, is that fair? So you want to start asking your prospects, is that fair? And then you would just go into, I'd like to get you all the information you need to make a good business decision with no obligation to purchase. I just want you to feel comfortable with coming to me with questions so that you can get the best possible deal. Is that fair? So you want to go through some of these exercises and role play with someone you feel comfortable with, and the best way to do it is to get these leads and just start calling, because let's face it, not every person's going to buy insurance from you, and if someone tells you that, they're basically lying. You will sell your amount of insurance, but for the most part, every call is an exercise to get to the 1, 2, or third person that will say yes out of your 15 or 20 people that you have. And that brings it to a point of this is just a numbers game, and the quicker that everybody realizes that this is a numbers game, the quicker you're going to make money. So I would encourage you to do that. Asking questions gives you control of the relationship. I know Steve brought that up, but learn how to ask questions and ask them very fluid. You want to make sure the conversation flows, and that comes again with practice. And the only way you get good with these leads is to practice making phone calls. You got to pick the phone up and make the calls. These phones get heavy when you get a lot of no's, but you know that every time you get a no, you're just one step closer to a yes. You have to lead people. People want to be led, so learn how to lead them on the phone. And if there's any way that you're like, you might ask a question to your clients, if there's any way that your wife could pay off the home in the event that you pass away, would you be interested in talking about a vehicle that would be able to do that? And when they go down that path of yes, you're going to say, well, I have a very interesting product that works in the form of an insurance policy that would pay off the home. So talking about the actual lead program, the mortgage lead program is an icebreaker. And everybody needs to probably just know that the purpose of getting people on the phone is to open up dialogue and conversation, talk about the opportunities available. For instance, you can eventually get into what insurance a prospect currently has. I'm probably repeating some of the things that Steve says, but it's actually true. It's old school. So we want to review what they have. And you'll find that a lot of people have 10-year term plans that are going to go up astronomically either in the next 4 years or next year. And so you want to find out if they understand how that policy works. And if a person's 53 years old and their plan goes up in the next 2 years, it's a lot less expensive to purchase a new policy this year than it will be to wait for 2 years for that maturity to take place. I'd like to comment on the best way to make this a successful program. Number one, you want to create momentum. I will highly encourage you to buy the leads on a consistent basis. And the reason I say that is because this lead program is all about being consistent. So you're going to want to create the momentum, and the momentum is created by filling your calendar with phone calls and meetings. And it's going to really dictate our attitudes on how we present ourselves in front of the next person and how we sell. So our calendar really dictates our attitude. Secondly, we must understand, again, Steve mentioned this, but we have to understand this is an investment. So when we spend a little over $200 to make $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, I think that it's clear that it makes financial sense. Again, I go back to this is a numbers game. I'm a financial guy from a banking background, and I know that making this a numbers game is going to hit home with a lot of folks, and a lot of folks just don't see it that way, but you have to go through the phone calls to make this work. And there's a cost of doing business, folks. There's a cost of making money, and that cost is that $200 and something a week that you put into your business. And finally, I'm going to state to be very patient. Understand that every call is an opportunity to sharpen your phone skills. Understand that you're trying to become the best agent that you can possibly become. And that investment is not only financially, but that investment is your time that you're putting into yourself, and you're educating yourself and sharpening those people skills while you're on the phone. And finally, I'll mention 4 things that, and I'll wrap up with these 4 things that I think make this business really function. You must be immediate. Immediate meaning when you get those leads from Joe, you must make that phone call immediately, not the next day. Make it that night, or you're going to have to overcome that objective of they've already been called. So you must take that serious. Number 2 is you must be persistent. I always say you need to weigh on the side of being a nuisance on the phone, because if you don't, that other person is going to make the sale happen. You have to be calling and weighing on the side of being a nuisance. It's just very important, because most agents will call one time and never call back. I would highly encourage you to do that. Thirdly, be consistent. You must, persistence and consistency is a little different in the fact that being consistent is throughout your business you have to do things in a timely fashion and be organized, and you have to give them the impression that you own your business and you know what you're doing. Finally, the 4th thing I'll talk about is being decisive. You have to know when to cut people loose, and they are not going to purchase from you. So stay after them, but do not waste your energy and go into a black hole that takes you into a negative world, because that can happen in this insurance business. So I would highly encourage those 4 things. Finally, my last finally is I wish everybody well. I hope your success in this business is that which I've experienced, and I could not have done it without the Levinson Group, and Steve's leads are fabulous, and I would highly encourage everybody to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kent. That was great, right from the heart. We appreciate it. Okay, so just a few more things here, and we're going to wrap up. Everybody on today's call is going to get an email, and we will include the sample lead scripts, and then we have an entire form on all of the FAQs that are built around the mortgage lead program, and then real live questions that came in here, and then we provided the answers, as you can see. So we'll send that out as well. Joe is going to touch on, we have a CRM tool that's going to help you organize all of these leads, and then we have 3 different lead mailer programs for final expense and annuities that are also co-op deals, and then we'll end the call. Joe?
Thanks, Bill. I just want to mention briefly the complimentary CRM tool that we make available to all agents, especially important with any sort of lead program, but more so the mortgage lead program. You know, if you're really interested in a automated CRM system, the MeAgain platform is great. You can use it on your computer, your smartphone. It really helps you to follow up with every single one of these clients. It'll streamline the entire contact management system, and it also has some built-in email marketing templates. So once you talk to a mortgage lead, you can be reminded to follow up with that mortgage lead again, you know, and it will actually send out these emails for you. You can pick and choose which email template you want to use. So that's especially important with following up with all these leads. Real briefly here, we do have a final expense lead program, which is a co-op through Transamerica. This is a direct mail campaign specifically for the final expense marketplace. What's great about this program is you actually pick the zip codes. They'll actually give us a sales solicitation report, which will tell us how many people meet that criteria in every one of those zip codes, and then you can pretty much, for just over $300, send out 1,000 different mailers with the Transamerica logo on it. This is a great way to get into that final expense marketplace. We'll actually be emailing out this order form this afternoon as well. We also have another final expense mailer kit, which is tied into our turnkey final expense system called Legacy Safeguard, which is actually a very, very unique program. It allows you as an agent to give your client all those things you see on the right-hand side. So you can give them estate planning support. You can give them access to discounts on the actual cost of the funeral. So if you're in that final expense marketplace, this is a great tool you can give out to those clients at absolutely no cost. It doesn't cost you, the agent, anything, or the client, but really a great way to kind of set yourself apart from the competition. We've got training DVDs and CDs. If you're interested in a kit, let us know. We can actually mail one out as early as this afternoon. The third lead program that I want to mention here is actually the Annuity Co-op Lead Program. This is just over $500 for 1,000 mailers specifically for those annuity leads. So again, Josh Hoffman in our office is at extension 23. He heads up the Levinson Annuity Division. He can help get you up and running with this program, but it is a direct mail campaign sourced directly for those annuity leads. So a great way to take advantage of those co-op deals. All those will be available in the email you receive this afternoon. You can also go to the website to learn more about each one of those programs.
Okay, our last slide here, and I think this is really important for everyone to know and be aware of. If you look at the bottom right, that was a 2013 LIMRA statistic. I use this all the time because it's factual. 86% of all consumers researched insurance online before making the purchase. Okay, so what does this tell us? We need to have an online presence. Okay, also, as soon as you have that lead or that client on the phone and they're willing to apply or sign up, okay, it's so easy to use one of our drop tickets or the one-page e-applications. Okay, you have to know how to use at least the basics with drop tickets and e-applications. So all of those carriers in front of you have these quick applications that literally take about 2 to 3 minutes to sign someone up on the phone, okay, almost instantly. So it makes it very easy, and it allows you to get on and move to the next sale. Very simple. And then the blue box there is just internet statistics, just to show you how important it is, again, to have that online presence. The numbers have went up by about 10 times in the last 15 years for internet usage. So with that said, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time and joining us on today's lead training. Thank you, Kent and Steve. And last but not least, always keep this in the back of your mind. Our industry is always about changing, and that's exactly what we all need to do as an IMO and as an agent to keep moving forward and building.